Nova Online. Amid the implosion of multiple Discord servers made with people known for sharing and spreading awful things involving very young individuals, surrounded in his own allegations and even straight up proof of talking to and preying upon people far too young for him, Nova loses the one person who seemed to be truly looking out for him and of course, in his infinite wisdom, decided now is the time to start his spicy career. What better time than now? Well today, just for you fellas, we'll get into that, but first I want to get into a couple of the major points we've seen highlighted with the recent breakup of Nova and his true best buddy. Now I'm sure you've all seen it, but if not, I'd recommend my first video on these Discord servers, but Nova had a plethora of Discord servers blow up recently as they get invaded by trolls and detractors of his. These servers, of course, being co-owned by that Shrine girl everyone seemed to be talking about for a little while. The meat and potatoes of that, though, is that when it comes to Nova and Discord, people under the age of 18 are bound to become involved. So when this real-life friend Nova had reached out to Nova, had this grandiose plan of bettering his life, someone who at every twist and turn would pressure Nova to better himself as a person, better his hygiene, better his health, he would be a little heartbroken when he'd watch a video on this new Discord server situation where it was very apparent that Nova had been doing some extremely questionable things with people under the age of 18 on there. I mean, at the very least, Nova was condoning that sort of behavior. It was really disgusting stuff if you watch my first video. And this best buddy that Nova had, who was always looking out for him, always had his best interests in mind, decided it's no longer a good idea to keep associating himself with the chome. It's not okay for him to be in a server with some of his other buddies, because even associating with this guy now is just a terrible look for all of them. And he'd hop in a call for around a half hour with Nova, just putting it all right in Nova's face. The awful things, all of his contradictions he's made with his excuses as to why he was in the servers for so long, why he kept hopping in these. We'll just get right into it with this first clip.
It just doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, even if, like, 90% of what I just saw was false. Like, you were in a Discord server that did allow minors. Like, that is true, right? And that Discord server was hosting free. That is also true, right? Dude,
I didn't know these people were sharing it until it was too late.
What do you mean you didn't know? Didn't you co-create the server?
No, I didn't. Someone else created it
for
me.
Who did? Someone created it for you? What do you mean by that?
Someone else created it. I didn't ask them to. They just created it.
You were in it. Doesn't matter if you asked. You said they created it for you and then you joined it. Well, the second you joined it, you were taking responsibility for it. Who made it then, if not you?
Someone who was pretending to be a fan that ended up being a troll this whole time.
What makes you say they're a fan pretending to be a troll? Or vice versa, I mean.
A lot of actual fans from the server were telling me what was going on. And when I found out, I just decided to say, fuck this and leave it.
How long were you in that server?
Only a couple hours.
Dude. Why? It doesn't make any sense, bro. When this Alice girl who said she was 17 was posting, like, dildo pictures in there, like, what is going on?
She isn't 17, she's 18.
But there are texts, I've seen pictures or screenshots where she's saying she's 17. I've seen screenshots where she's saying she's 17, and when she's saying she lied, it's due to the fact that she wanted to impress you or something with being younger.
And that's one of the biggest things in this clip that you'll see when it comes to Nova and these servers and really anything he ever does wrong. And that's his refusal to take responsibility for ever doing anything wrong. I mean, you can put it in plain sight right in front of the guy, Nova, you did this. And he'll find a way to blame it on some troll, some fan turned bad. I don't know, he'd probably even blame his poor mom if it came down to it. He can never take responsibility and own his own terrible actions. It's crazy the lengths he'll go, though. I'm totally serious with that. Every single time he gets pressed about it, it's like, well, I didn't know. Well, actually, I wasn't in the server at that point. I couldn't have known. I would have therapy. As we go on, as we move forward with these clips, his claims as to why he's not at fault for all this only get wackier and more complex.
All strategically planned, which,
I was
like,
blackmailed.
What do you mean you're blackmailed? Explain to me how you're blackmailed.
Yeah, so basically I was forced into making a server and made these two people mod, not knowing who they actually were.
How are you forced into making a server?
Basically, if I didn't make a server, they would full dox my friend, and my friend said she would kill herself if that happened. So I tried to prevent it.
Do you have any proof of this?
Yep, I do.
Please send it to me. Like, if this is true, why haven't you just said this from the get-go? Like, if you were truly blackmailed in the position, like, why am I just hearing about it now? Why did you not text me?
I thought I tried telling you.
No, dude, I've been trying to talk to you all day. Like, that's why this shit is so weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You would think if you were getting blackmailed, and the blackmail succeeded, and regardless of you doing everything they asked you to do, they still are fucking you over. You'd think that your immediate response would be to explain, they tricked me, here's all the text threads where it shows them tricking me. Like, here's what happened, I was trying to protect my friend. But I've seen none of this, I'm just hearing about it now. I've been asking you about this all day. So please, right now, send me anything you can that supports what you're saying. Why would your friend even care about being doxxed? I'm assuming they're a nobody. Like, why would anybody give a fuck to know your friend's address? Like, anybody on the internet can find your address, and it's like barely ever an inconvenience to you.
Well, there we go, Grubbas. Cat's out of the bag. Nova was only in those servers because he was being blackmailed. I mean, really, this makes him out to be such a good guy. He was just looking out for a good friend of his who these people were threatening to dox. There's just one thing that massively disproves this claim Nova's made, and the friend actually confronts him on this, and that's the fact that Nova was so clearly enjoying the company of all the people on the server, and he started to panic when he realized the consequences of everything that went down on the server were going to come down on him.
You're such a good actor, you were just able to do that. You're just able to, like, get up on stage on Discord with all these people who are blackmailing you and show such genuine enjoyment and camaraderie. Like, that is not the behavior I expected from someone being effectively held hostage. Someone being held hostage with the threat being against their friend's life. And Nova, dude, you've said lies to me about your friends' lives before. Maybe they weren't originating from you, that's what you claim, but you have told me lies about, your friends and their health. While you're looking, can you explain why you remained in the server if you were blackmailed?
Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the person that they flashed on screen, the proof that Nova sent his friend, that this person that he was saving from being doxxed was in fact being threatened and scared that these people were going to release their information. Well, that limited person was just Alice, being that weird, creepy shrine girl that we've talked about before, a girl who was very much friends with and speaking to that defender person that was going to go ahead and dox her. Just a little something for you Grubbas to keep in mind, that all of these people in Nova servers claiming to be his supporters all had something that they were getting after. But at the same time, you guys can't forget that Nova did take part in all this. He was associating with these awful people, and he has to take on, at the very least, a good portion of the blame for how much he contributed to all of this and on his own. Now, a big thing when we're looking at all of this is just we get to see in plain view how bad Nova is at reasoning and rationalizing things and making decisions. He's so incredibly impulsive, the same way a young teenager or a 13-year-old would be. And this best buddy Nova had for the longest time, for 8 months I believe it was, he really seems to share that opinion with this next clip.
Like, if you think of it as like a normal friendship, but I think a better way to describe our relationship is like how well can an adult be friends with like a 13-year-old? Like, an adult can like value a 13-year-old and can like want the best for a 13-year-old, but can you actually have like a adult friend connection with like somebody who's in that headspace? And I think the answer most people will determine is like no. Like, you can't really get a symbiotic friendship with people who are like at that drastically of different places in their life. So though I like would call Nova a friend, like he did not give me the things you'd expect from like any of my other adult friends. Like it was more of like me trying to help him over anything. Like if Nova was a super healthy person who just happened to be kind of weird, like I don't think we would be friends. But
It's because of his personality.
yeah, I mean, pretty much just all of it.
I mean, there we have it. As someone who had seen and spoken to Nova, interacted with Nova in real life, not just over the internet, hadn't only seen videos of his or even just hopped in Discord calls with him, but truly had real life interactions with him at real life places with the chome, is letting us know that being friends with Nova is no different than an adult attempting to be friends with a young child. He's just that socially inept both on and offline, which is just an incredibly sad thing to think about. I mean, despite the fact he's a terrible, awful person, this guy is just never forming true and meaningful bonds with any other human, especially on the internet. He's so incredibly selfish, unaware, and again, socially inept that he can't form a connection that a normal adult would have with another adult and have a good time with someone. I mean, this guy who used to be friends with Nova wants to try his best to be respectful, even though I personally don't think the chome deserves that respect. We all know it. You Grubbas, you know it, I know it, I'm sure all the other YouTubers who cover Nova know it, but he's a complete lost cause when it comes to forming friendships, and having friendships, meaningful friendships with people your own age is a crucial part of development with your brain, development socially, and that is just the perfect breeding ground for the isolation that creates the monster that is Nova as we see him today. And I'm not saying it's the isolation's fault here, because I'm sure there are plenty of people you could completely isolate from the rest of the world and they won't end up as bad as Nova. It's just, it really made a bad situation so much worse. And truly, fellas, it's only downhill from here, because he's not going to relearn how to interact with people. He's so set in his ways, and it's been so clearly on display for years now. And this next part we get into, it really highlights the fact that Nova reasons and acts like a 13-year-old. I mean, maybe he's constantly in a state of that age play, age regression or whatever. But one thing, when I'm going to hang out with my friends or I'm going out to eat, I don't want to smell like shit. So I'm going to go, of course, take a shower, maybe throw some cologne on, of course, put some deodorant on so I don't smell like trash. Nova, on the other hand, loves just wallowing in his filth. And we know clearly from Nova's hair how greasy it gets, that this guy's showers are so few and far between. And one thing, a revelation that I found hilarious, is that this real life friend was actually responsible for the shower saga that we saw. Now, Grubba, how exactly could this guy be responsible for Nova deciding to finally shower? Well, that's the thing. This guy literally bribed Nova with a Bluetooth speaker to go and hop in the shower. And believe it or not, that wasn't enough. He bought hard Mountain Dews, a Bluetooth speaker. I mean, he even went as far as giving this guy a waterproof phone case in order to get him into the shower. And that was hardly enough to finally get him to bathe himself so that they could go and hang out.
I don't know, show you that like there are people out there who care and like genuinely want to help.
I was really trying.
But no, dude, you haven't. You've regressed so much since I met you. The shower saga, where I literally bribed you to, take care of your hygiene. How long did that last? Like 2 weeks, not even? You started skipping days at like day 5? The eating healthy thing, like you're fucking door dashing all the time, lying to me about like the calories you're intaking. Like having to tell you to like wash your clothes.
If I'm not mistaken, you were kind of the one who encouraged it or gave him that idea. If you want to tell us more about that.
So I had been hounding him on his hygiene for basically our whole relationship, but I was really hounding on it for like a couple of weeks prior to that, the shower saga starting. And that was due to the fact that we started I think it was just we hung out with him like 2 or 3 times within like a month, which was like the most dense amount of little outings we had. And we had to start telling him like, dude, we're not going to let you in our cars anymore if you aren't washing your clothes and you aren't bathed. Like we can tell when you don't, we can tell instantly. So I think that is what kind of made me want to start hounding on him more. And but what really changed, there was one day where I think he posted something where he was just really gross. I think it was hair was standing up in the back real bad, or I can't recall exactly. Mm-hmm. But I ended up calling him, and like right when I woke up, and he picked up, and we talked for like an hour, and I was like, I basically just said like, dude, everyone in the comments of this video is saying like you're gross, like you're greasy, like your house is a mess, and I'm like, can you say any of those comments are even wrong? Like, I understand you read them and you don't like them, but like, you need to actually internalize like why are they saying these things, and then like look at yourself and your surroundings, and you'll probably come to the conclusion like, oh, all these people are right. And so that was like an hour-long phone call. He was crying and stuff. And so towards the end of the phone call, I basically said like, dude, literally just tell me what I need to do. And this is almost verbatim. I said, just tell me what I need to do for you to shower today. And I was like, I'll do like, you tell me what it is, I'll do it. And so I said, I threw out some ideas. I was like, do I need to go like buy you a Bluetooth speaker? Like, is it, I think we have the text for that too. So people will see those maybe. But, I was like, I asked them like, are you not showering because you have like a difficulty standing? Like, do you need like a chair for the shower? Like what is it? What is the hindrance for you to not shower? And he didn't really answer any of those questions, but once he heard Bluetooth speaker, he got a little excited, and he was like, yeah, I'll shower if you get me a Bluetooth speaker. So
Wow.
I said, okay, man, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna buy you a Bluetooth speaker, and by the time I get to your house, you're gonna be showered, right? And he told me he would be. So I go to the store, I buy the Bluetooth speaker, and then I also buy a pack of hard Mountain Dews, because if you guys are 21, those are very good, and they're sugar-free. And obviously Nova likes Mountain Dew, so. So I was like, oh, and congratulations, we'll like have a Mountain Dew together. But I get to his house, and of course he hadn't showered yet, so I got a little upset, and I was like, the second I leave, dude, you better shower, and you better post that video. And I should also say, the whole point of the shower video, like that, why it was an idea, I was like, it kind of forces his hand. I was like, if you are saying you're going to post a video of you showering every day, and then you skip a day, like everybody's going to know. Like you now have like this large amount of accountability being like held against you. But obviously it didn't really matter.
Wow, just how unbelievably embarrassing is that? Not only did his friend have to sit him down and talk to him about his hygiene because they didn't want to let him into their cars anymore. He stunk up the car, immediately got in there. I mean, at one point, I don't know if I played it in the clip, they state that they'd be out in public with the guy and people would literally walk by and be talking amongst themselves like, hey, do you guys smell that? Because he would just have this aura of stank around him. And I guess giving the chome gifts like this guy did in order to bribe him into shower was a little questionable, but seems like this guy just had a good heart and good intentions at the core of this all. I don't know how I feel about how he went about it. But again, the prospect that actually got Nova excited to go shower was getting a Bluetooth speaker from the guy, and he was so proud of Nova that he got him hard Mountain Dews to share with him, like crack open a cold one with the boys because he finally managed to get the courage to shower. You know, you don't want to be greasy and get made fun of for smelling anymore. And not even that was enough for the guy. He had to promise his friend. He essentially scammed his friend out of this Bluetooth speaker and had to promise him, I'll shower after you leave, don't worry. I thought it was a little funny that out of all of this, we finally got the origin behind the actual shower saga. But ultimately, this friendship, of course, it was bound to collapse because Nova can't handle having a true adult relationship of any kind, especially not with that ultimate betrayal of the friend finding out what this guy was getting up to on those Discord servers, you know, completely negating any sort of forward progress he might have been getting with this friendship that was ultimately attempting to better Nova's life somehow. But he would go ahead and tell Nova that they just can no longer be friends, and with the ending of this friendship, he would leave Nova with a little advice that unfortunately the chome will never take to heart.
Dude, you have to make a major change. You need to get completely off the internet. And I don't say that, and that's coming from someone who's, again, since I've met you, constantly told you how easy it would be for you to make more than most people in your city by using TikTok effectively. I don't know how many times I've told you that. And now I'm telling you, you need to delete all apps that connect you to the internet. You need to get off of the internet. You need to look. Let's say you're right. This was all just a big misunderstanding. It doesn't matter. You've proven to yourself that you are a liability to yourself. You are not able to responsibly handle your online persona. You need to get off, or you're gonna die, and you're gonna die hated. I don't know what the truth is. You know, I'm not going to pretend like there's any like true answer to any of this, but I do know that I don't think your behavior was appropriate regardless of everything you've told me. You know, I don't think any of this is excusable, especially given all of our past conversations. And you have to consider, I have other friends in here, half of them don't know you. And so I don't think you're a lost soul. And I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I think you need to get off the internet. I think you need to start, you know, open the Bible, like just dedicate your life to something, man. Anything. But I cannot have you in this server anymore with all this stuff. And I don't like to say that, you know. And again, I hope I've proved to you throughout the last like 8 months that like I genuinely did try. You know, I wanted you to be better. I wanted you to be healthier. I wanted you to be happy. But like I can't in good conscience go forward with this for myself. And also I don't want to like and even greater reason arguably is I don't want to, you know, jeopardize all these other people in here and all my other friends who like I said, a lot of them don't even really know what's going on with you or who you are. So this will most likely be the last time we talk. And I don't say that with any joy, but I just can't really, I don't care to interact with you anymore. And even if I did, I couldn't justify it. But I don't think you're lost. I think you can save yourself, okay? But you gotta looking around, dude. You gotta get off the internet. Go actually be better. Go try to do anything. Just delete all this off your phone. Throw your phone in the gutter. That if you don't, mark my words, you are if you try to maintain any online presence, like you're done. So like that is my last piece of advice to you, and obviously you don't have to take it, but
now, I know that last clip was a little long there that I added, but I wanted you guys to hear the full, that this guy dropped for Nova, the full truth right in front of his face as he was leaving this relationship. He no longer wants to talk to Nova, doesn't want to interact with him, doesn't want to be friends with him. He was imparting him with this final advice. He spent 8 months trying to better Nova's life, and it all came crashing down. So this final little piece of advice he had for Nova was just to get off the internet, literally separate yourself from anything that could possibly connect you to the internet. And, you know, of course, after all of this, literally 8 long months of this guy giving him nothing but solid advice, trying to better himself, the friendship would end, this interview with bludspeth would happen, and Nova, of course, would dox this guy in response, just like his buddy Lemur did to Mayor Menace not too long ago. Full dox this guy's face for the internet. Which is super crazy because not too long ago, remember that excuse Nova used of, oh, he would never want his friends to be doxxed like that because that's such an awful experience. Nova's experienced it for himself. So tell me, why would Nova go ahead and dox this guy who was supposedly a good friend of his for at least 8 months, or whatever Nova's understanding of a good friend is supposed to be? A guy who would buy him things and constantly talk to him when he's down, trying to lift his spirits, better himself, make himself happier. But no, the second he doesn't get what he wants, he throws a tantrum and he doxes the guy. And of course, following all of this, all of the allegations, everything that went on in this Discord servers, this relationship coming to an end, of course, Nova would not take this guy's final imparting wisdom to heart. Of course, posting on the TikTok as usual, but that's not the big thing. That's not the meat and potatoes you guys came here today. He would take a break from watching South Park. You know, if you don't know what that means, count yourself blessed. Nova would post a video to Cornhub as himself. No alias, no nothing. It's very clearly him. You can hear it in the voice. I was jump scared by it on Twitter. It's most definitely Nova. It pans over to his room. It's disgusting, for one. And I don't know what he could possibly be doing with this, because of course he's a degenerate gooner, but gooning for all the world to see, maybe trying to make a career pivoting out of that. I don't know in what planet is it a genius pivot to go from food reviews and whatever weird content Nova gets up to, and then all, of course, wearing diapers and talking to minors, to then pivot to posting to Cornhub of all places. Just whatever you grubs do, please do not try to seek this out. It's god awful. Just trust a grub. And of course, if you guys really need to be convinced, on that Telegram Nova has, you know, the place where all PDF files tend to go. If you've watched anything on Skeeter Gene or Gideon, all of the PDF files love to flock to Telegram of all places. But within Nova's Telegram, we see Nova say Purity has a Cornhub and X video account too, but of course nobody mentions that. And that's because, you know, why does Purity get to have this account and I don't get to goon and post it? Because you're a PDF file, Nova. Plain and simple. Nobody wants to watch a PDF file, goon. You're disgusting. Please don't be posting that. I mean, on top of it all, nobody wants to see what your favorite videos on there are either. It's so incredibly alarming. I mean, especially when you consider you have all these young people constantly surrounding Nova. It's so awful that he's broadcasting that he has this stuff now, even if it is just within this little Telegram community, because you know with Nova, there's going to be kids in there. Anyways, Grubbas, thank you to anyone who made it this far in the video. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to hype this video up, leave a little like if you liked it, and if I was really that great, don't forget to subscribe too, because you guys will be seeing more content just like this coming from a Grubba for this foreseeable future. So thank you for making it all the way to the end. Later, Grubbas.